the Agriculture and Food Authority to the proposed Kenya Sugar Board, respectively. It saves all the pending proceedings and claims relating to the sugar industry currently handled by the Agriculture and Food Authority. The Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gladys Boss, has walked into today's session, being the third session of the morning sitting, the session that is expected to commence shortly. Let's listen in.
Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the officers of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. I direct that the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes.
And in a bid to achieve the required number for the commencement of the House, the bell has been rung for 10 minutes to allow members of Parliament to walk into the House to allow the commencement of today's proceeding, that is pursuant to Standing Order 34. And still on motions and bills to be considered this morning by members of Parliament during the morning sitting of the third session, today being July 31st, a session that began at 9:30. Members of Parliament are expected to debate the Pensions and Amendment Bill. That is the National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2022, brought by the Honorable Didmas Barasa, Kimilili Member of Parliament, and the Pensions Amendment Bill, whose principal objective is to amend the Pensions Act to provide a timeline within which pension shall be payable to an officer. It seeks to remedy the delays that is experienced in payments of pensions to pensioners upon its maturity or the maturity of pension funds. And the bill does not delegate any legislative powers, neither does it limit fundamental rights and freedom. This bill, Bill number 44 of 2022 by the Honorable Didmas Barasa, concerns county governments in terms of Article 110, one of the 2010 Constitution. This is not a money bill for the purposes of Article 114 of the Constitution, and its enactment shall not occasion any additional expenditure of the public funds. We also have motions, that is the policy for the provision of mental health services in all healthcare facilities in our country, that is in the 290 constituencies and the 47 county governments, brought by the Likoni Member of Parliament, Honorable Mishi Mboko. Article 43(1)(a) of our Constitution provides that every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, that is, including the right to healthcare services. And mental health is a key determinant of overall health and social economic development. And our Constitution assigns national government the responsibility of matters of health policy. It's a concern that, according to World Health Organization, mental and neurological disorders are common, and about 10% of the global population suffer from at least one mental health disorder at any given time. And the House urges the national government, that is through the relevant Ministry of Health, to collaborate with the county governments in order to develop a policy integrating the mental health care services in all the healthcare facilities in the country. That is the national government and the county governments, in order to achieve a right to the highest attainable standard for every Kenyan, including the right to healthcare services and mental health being a key determinant of overall health and social economic development. And while still on motions, we have the policy and funding for sugarcane farming in the country. That is motion number 24 of 2023 by Honorable Peter Nabulindo. Commercial sugarcane production in Kenya was introduced in the early years of independence with the aim of eliminating dependence on sugar importation and contributing to the economic transformation in the sugar belt and the country at large through agriculture. And while acknowledging that the sugar industry has significantly contributed to the country's national gross domestic product and become one of the largest employers, supported many livelihoods of many Kenyans, both directly and indirectly, it's a concern that over the last 25 years, the sugarcane farming, particularly in Western Kenya, has been declining significantly, dipping the sugar 600,000 metric tons per year in the 1990s to less than 300,000 metric tons in the recent years. And the decline in sugarcane farming has forced the local millers operate far below the milling capacity and pushed the countries to over-rely on the net importation of sugar, which in turn impacts negatively on the balance of trade. And the decline in sugar production is attributed to factors such as the mismanagement or interferences and unfair competitions from the cheap imported sugar into our country. And the state-owned sugar millers like the Mumias Sugar Company and Nzoia Sugar Company ceased milling, while the millers like hundreds of thousands of shillings, while appreciating that the government has been putting in places and strategies, policies and regulations to define the role of millings and the major players and stakeholders in the sugar industry, that is, in a bid to revamp this sector. It's a concern that the acute shortage of sugarcane resulting from the mass abandonment of sugar farming continues to roll back initiatives for reviving the sugar milling. Investments in sugar revamping companies before reviving sugarcane farming would occasion in the loss of invested public funds instead of yielding success. And it's a concern that the House now resolved that the national government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, to provide policies that every investor miller sets aside some funds for development of sugar farming, to embrace the sugarcane growing and to enhance the cane production in each of the respective zones. It's noted that over the last 25 years, the sugarcane farming in Western Kenya has been declined, dipping the production from the 600,000 metric tons to 300,000 in the recent years. This is owing to mismanagement and importations, making it impossible for the local farmers to compete fairly in the sugar market. You also have a motion on the national sensitization and support for combating sickle cell diseases in our country by Honorable Peter Nabulindo. That is motion number 26 of 2023. Our Constitution on Article 43.1 entitles that every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to healthcare services. And in every year, around 14,000 children in Kenya are born, and of those 14,000 suffer from sickle cell disease. That is, with the highest prevalence rate being within the western part of Kenya, the Nyanza, and the coastal regions. It's a concern that failure to undertake sickle cell treatment and screening at birth has hindered timely administration of appropriate treatment and other mitigation measures to foster high, in fact, mortality caused by preventable diseases like malaria. And the National Population Survey does not include data on sickle cell, and it's a concern that the data and information negatively hinders prioritization of resources and implementation of this. And the quorum has been achieved pursuant to Standing Order 34. And I now take you to the House, where the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly is presiding over today's proceedings. This is the Parliamentary Broadcast Unit in collaborations with KBC. My name is Angela Cheror.
You can put my mic. Okay, honorable members, we may begin. First order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Honorable members, we shall deal with papers later, but now we can proceed to the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Member for Kachiliba, Honorable Titus Leto, you have a paper, a statement?
Yeah.
He's not here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I request for a statement regarding insecurity in Kachiliba constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order number 44.2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Defense Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding a recent attack by bandits in Kasese village in Kacheliba constituency. Honorable Speaker, on Thursday, precisely last week, 25th July 2024, Kasese village in Kacheliba constituency, Kasai ward, faced a reprehensive attack orchestrated by bandits. The assailants, who initially attempted to raid cattle, tragically killed 2 women. One, Mrs. Chemket Longukanyang of ID number 2074-3245 and Mrs. Chepsangai Rengei of ID 3195-0149, who are engaged in alluvial gold mining. Ms. Chepsangai Rengei, unfortunately, Madam Speaker, left behind a 5-month-old baby, who is now an orphan. This incident underscores the pressing need to address the security situation in Kacheliba. It is worth noting that the attacks come barely a few months after the ministry deployed the police reservists to the area. Yet the situation remained dire. Recent weeks have witnessed planned and carefully executed attacks targeting innocent civilians, diverting from the belief that these are merely cattle-related thefts. They are not. Something else is underneath. The persistent insecurity has severely disrupted essential services such as education and healthcare, significantly impacting development. As we speak, Madam Speaker, Lonyangalem Primary School has remained closed even after the presidential directive that should be on. Honorable Speaker, it is also worth noting that the attackers of Kasese, Ombelion, Tartar Junction, and Takayo village have been hiding in a village called Lorogon. This village, despite being geographically located within West Pokot County, has been administered from Turkana County since 1997. These administrative structures raises concern about the village operating as a safe haven for bandits. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number 1, a detailed account of the recent attack and the current status of investigations into the matter, particularly the killing of Ms. Chemket Longolenyang and Ms. Cheposangai Rengei. 2, the additional resources or support being provided to strengthen the capacity of security personnel in Kasese village and Kacheliba constituency at large to respond to the perennial security attacks in the region. 3, a report on the immediate and the long-term measures that the government has put in place to address the recent insecurity and recurring bandits attack to enhance security in Kacheliba constituency. And finally, Madam Speaker, the administrative status of Lorogon village, including the reason of it being administered from Turkana County, yet it is geographically in West Pokot County, and measures being implemented to prevent this village from serving as a bandit hideout. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Pukose, I see you pressed the intervention button. Did you want to comment on this?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to comment on this statement by Honorable Lotte, who happens to be also my neighbor within that area. Honorable Speaker, the people of Kacheliba have actually suffered as a result of this issue of cattle rustling. And it will be important that the committee takes this matter very seriously, because when we have loss of life and loss of livestock, and livestock is the only is one of the major livelihoods of the people of West Pokot in that region, I think it is important that the Departmental Committee on Security takes this matter seriously and possibly visits the area to see the challenges the people of Kacheliba are facing, because when the member is raising this issue, it's a matter of urgency, and I think it should be treated as a matter of urgency so that the people of Kachalipa can be reassured of their security and their livelihood. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, there's Chairperson, Committee for Internal Security. Is not here. Any member of the committee? Okay, then Majority Leader, just ensure that the Committee on Internal Security acts on this matter and gives a response within a week. Thank you. Okay, next statement. The Honorable Dorothy Kiara.
Request for statement regarding the status of the Dadan Kimathi University Cancer Management Center. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health regarding the status of the Kimathi Cancer Center at Dadan Kimathi University of Technology. Honorable Speaker, the Dadan Kimathi University Cancer Management Center was launched as a crucial healthcare initiative aimed at providing comprehensive cancer services, including research, treatment, and management. The project, financially backed by the Agrarian government, was envisaged to serve as a regional hub for cancer care, benefiting Nyeri and its surrounding counties, and become a national hub for cancer care and treatment. However, it is deeply concerning that despite its critical importance, the project is yet to be completed with little transparency regarding its current status. The urgency of completing this center is underscored by alarming health statistics, which include and indicate that cancer is the third leading cause of death in the country, following in infectious and cardiovascular diseases. Honorable Speaker, Article 43(1) of the Constitution enshrines the right of every person to the highest attainable standard of health, including the right to health care services. As such, the delay in the completion of this project has significantly impacted patients who are forced to travel long distances, often to Nairobi, or even abroad to access essential health care services. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health on 1, the current status of construction and operation of the Dadan Kimathi Cancer Center project and reasons for delayed completion. 2, the steps the government has undertaken to address the challenges that have led to the delay in the completion of the project and plans for its completion, including specific timelines. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, I think you have to be paying attention to the proceedings so that you make sure I get the mic when I need it, so that I'm not asking you to do it each time. The Chairperson on the health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Duncan Maina Madenge, the member for Nyeri Town, is a member of my committee and I can confirm that he's been following up on this matter. And I want to assure the Honorable Member that I'll be able to give a response in 2 weeks' time.
Next order.
Order number 8, the Sexual Offences Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 78 of 2023. First reading. A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Sexual Offences Act 2006.
Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of Senate amendments to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022.
Proceed, Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Senate amendments to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34, be now considered. Honorable Speaker, this bill came to this House way back, beginning from the last Parliament. It was considered, and when the Parliament adjourned Synod, we had to adopt it this year, this Parliament again, the 13th Parliament. Honorable Speaker, it went through this House until it got itself to the Senate. Members expressed their views. I remember, Honorable Speaker, we did 17 public participations, and much of the information, Honorable Speaker, has been shared in both houses, but the Senate, Honorable Speaker, has felt that a few things have to be changed, and upon bringing it back, Honorable Speaker, this bill has been analyzed by the Committee on Agriculture, and allow me on the onset, Honorable Speaker, to thank the Chair, Committee on Agriculture, and the entire team that they've done a lot of good work on this bill. They've considered several issues, and Honorable Speaker, I'll wish to request that my colleagues help me get to the next level during the Committee of the whole House as they pass this bill now, this motion now, so that, Honorable Speaker, we look at the 11 issues that were raised. Out of the 11, several of them have been considered and accepted by the Committee on Agriculture, and those which the House will feel otherwise, Honorable Speaker, move to the next level. I beg to request my colleagues that you honorably help me to move to the next level. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that Senate amendments to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022, be now considered. Anyone who wants to Is it the mood of that the Senate amendments to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022, be now considered? Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Okay, honorable members, I think we should proceed to order number 11 because it turns out that the sugar bill is not ready for the committee of the whole for now. It's not yet ready. I'm told that there has to be some discussions with the clerk's desk and the committee. So we can move on to number 11 while you consult. Yes. So you can have your conversation while we proceed to order number 11, Honorable Mishimboko. Yes, we have moved to order number 11. You have a motion. Okay, proceed. Honorable Mishimboko, please proceed while the committee discusses the proceedings next to the committee of the whole. Proceed.
Order number 11, motion. Policy for the provision of mental health services in all healthcare facilities.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker. I beg to move this motion that aware that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution provides that every person has the right to the highest attainable standard of health, including the right to healthcare services. Further aware that mental health is a key determinant of overall health and socio-economic development, recognizing that the Constitution assigned to the national government the responsibility of matters of health policy, concerned that according to the World Health Organization, mental and neurological disorders are common, and about 10% of the population at any given time suffer from at least one mental disorder. Noting that patients attending primary care clinics may have diagnosable mental disorders. Deeply concerned that psychiatric units are only available in a few counties, indicating that patients seeking services at all healthcare facilities in most facilities have limited or no access to mental health care services. Acknowledging that efficient access to healthcare facilities leads to improved overall health, increased economic productivity, social equity, and improved quality of life. Now, therefore, this House urges the national government through the Ministry of Health to collaborate with the county governments to develop a policy that will integrate mental health services at all levels of healthcare facility to enable all citizens across these services. Honorable Madam Speaker, the mental health crisis in Kenya has reached a critical juncture, and it demands urgent and comprehensive action from the Honorable House. The statistics presented highlighted are deeply concerning. 1 in 4 Kenyans is suffering from a mental health condition, and a significant portion of outpatient cases are related to mental health issues. This crisis has far-reaching implications for the well-being and prosperity of our nation, Honorable Madam Speaker. Honorable Madam Speaker, the right to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health is enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya 2010 under Article 43(1)(a), which clearly states that every person has the right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to health care services, including reproductive health care. However, the reality on the ground points a stark picture, Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stress the urgent need to tackle Kenya's mental health crisis. The Mental Health Act of 1989 and the National Mental Health Policy of 2015 provide a framework, but they face weak enforcement, unclear financial support, and conflicting laws. These hurdles contribute to the crisis, with 1 in 4 Kenyans suffering from mental health issues and frequent tragedy. To fix this, I propose reforms and a strong action plan to protect and support people with mental disorders, including more resources and updated policies. Honorable Speaker, for instance, I came to learn that this problem cut across all counties in Kenya, that although our counties might have 1 or 2 mental health facilities, but that even the supply of drug is erratic with frequent shortages, with more counties and having 1 or 2 mental health specialties. For instance, in Kilifi, for example, they found that it only had 2 mental health nurses for a population of approximately 1.2 million people. Madam Speaker, the lack of mental health infrastructure and human resources had a devastating impact on Kenyan communities. Madam Speaker, I want just to note some cases which have just happened in Kenya regarding mental disorder. On 24th January this year, a 34-year-old Evans Master was found dangling from a tree in Kisii. The same day, 72-year-old Maina was also found in Kirinyaga from a suspected suicide. On the very day in Mituni location, Machakos County, David Mutua was found hanging on a sisal rope, dead. Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, also on January 2nd, 2024, in Kangema Police Station, Murang'a County, a police constable shot himself dead. That same day in Gusishi Police Station, Meru County, Corporal Simon Gitonga was found lying in a pool of blood dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Honorable Speaker, also one case happened at the Lunga Police Station where a police officer shot his wife and also shot himself dead. April 23rd, Oliver Naseria in Kitengela, a 24-year-old living in Kitengela, in a bizarre incident, killed her 2-year-old and consumed her organs all the time, singing and reciting alphabet as the neighbors watch helplessly. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the crisis extends beyond the tragic loss of life, the frequency of mental health issues in our learning institution, such as the cases of love triangles among university students, the issue of femicide, and the mushrooming of juvenile gangs. This disturbing trend, a clear indicator that the mental health challenges facing our youth are not being adequately addressed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, furthermore, I raise concern about the impact of mental health issues in the workplace, where cases of assault, gender-based violence, and employee absenteeism due to depression are on the rise. This not only affects the well-being of our workforce, but also a significant economic implication for our nation. Just to note, Honorable Speaker, I sit in the Parliamentary Service Commission on the Committee of Staff Welfare. Honorable Madam Speaker, we have several cases of mental disorder, be it anxiety, be it depression, and bipolar. And we are yet to have some solution on these cases, Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the existing legal and framework, such as the Mental Health Act of 1989 and the National Mental Policy of 2013, are outdated.
Honorable Mishimboko, you know you've proceeded to debate your motion before we even propose the question, then open it for debate. So if you can just wind down. You're just supposed to move it as is.
Yeah, when you are moving, what I understand, Honorable Madam Speaker, you move.
Hold on
I'm
one
okay.
second. What's your point of order, Honorable Chepkonga?
I'm
okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Mishimboko is my very good friend. The way she's going about it, she's doing very well. But she's reading, you know, you just need to have a cursory look at your notes, and then not read. Those are the standing orders, and I'm raising pursuant to Standing Order 83, Madam Speaker. She doesn't need to read everything. She just needs to have a cursory look. You know, this is a debating chamber. It is not a reading chamber. So she needs to just to make a cursory look at the points and then present the points.
You've made your point. Okay, proceed, Honorable Boko.
Coming. Madam Speaker, I understand the standing orders, and I know when you are moving a motion, it's not that I am debating this motion. I am moving. And when you are moving, you can read, you can look at your notes, you can do it without looking at your notes, so I don't have limitation on that. If it was debating this chamber, then you are not supposed even to look to the notes. You are just supposed to debate.
Proceed.
Honorable Madam Speaker, morally we have a duty of care to our citizens, especially the vulnerable, to ensure that mental well-being is prioritized and safeguarded. Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the tragic cases I have highlighted are a stark reminders that mental health is not just a personal issue, but a societal one that has far-reaching consequences, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is therefore mandatory upon the Honorable House to take decision action to address the mental health crisis in Kenya, the most including but not limited to the following. And I want to talk about some reforms which maybe if we can take them, it can assess us in ensuring that we fight this menace, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, number one, allocating adequate resources, because we have found this is a big challenge. But financial and human or mental health infrastructure and services, including the establishment of standard-alone mental health facility. This is what we don't have. For instance, in Mombasa, we have only the Portrees Center for mental disorders. It is very small, there's no capacity, the medical professionals are not even available, we don't even have drugs. And the same in other counties. I've also mentioned about Kilifi, what we have seen. Madam Speaker, number two, integrating mental health into primary health care to improve access and reduce the stigma associated with seeking mental health services. Honorable Madam Speaker, there is a lot of stigma. Even here in the Parliament, I know some of us might be suffering from mental disorder, but we cannot disclose it, we cannot maybe share, but we are just suffering from this disease. Honorable Madam Speaker, it is high time we have to do something on this. Number three, conducting robust research and data collection to understand better the scope and drivers of the mental health crisis, which will inform evidence-based policy making. Honorable Madam Speaker, we need to, in fact, like here in this Parliament, we need to have what we call well-being. And under well-being, we need to have a unit or a center to ensure that we tackle these cases of mental disorder. Most of our staff, and in regard to absenteeism, it is because of mental disorder. Right now in the Parliament, in the Parliamentary Service Commission, we have like 7 cases, and all of them are on depression issues, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, number 4, reviewing and updating the Mental Health Act and National Mental Health Policy to align them with the Constitution and international best practices, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, another one is launching public awareness campaigns to destigmatize mental health and encourage Kenyans to seek help without fear of discrimination or social ostracization. Honorable Speaker, number 6, establishing robust mental health support system in learning institutions, workplaces, and other key settings to proactively address emerging challenges. We have seen what has been happening in our learning institution, in our school, in our universities, the love triangles, and so many other cases which have just happened regarding, and this is because of mental disorder which has not been addressed adequately, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the time for action is now. We owe it to the people of Kenya to prioritize their mental well-being and create an environment where they can thrive free from the burden of untreated mental health condition. I implore this Honorable House to take the necessary steps to address this crisis and ensure a healthier, more prosperous future for our nation. With these many remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to move and call upon Honorable Catherine Omanyo to second this motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam
Because she has done so.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Honorable Mishi Mboko, for remembering this sensitive issue. I support heavily and deeply. I have looked into this and extensively realized that this issue should be declared a national crisis. It should actually be taken as an emergency in this nation, because if you look into what is happening at the moment, even in Kenya, you might easily ignore or not even know that actually somebody is suffering and needs help. Many times when we realize that somebody maybe uses drugs or maybe is depressed, people are so busy to even help. And you can easily hear terms like, this one has turned out to be a Madare case, meaning we dismiss easily and carry on with our other cause. Mental health is with us in every family. As we look into how Kenya is, one facility like Madare is over-admitting daily, suffocating with few staff even to handle the menace. As we keep looking and just losing family members or relatives, because most of them who give up end up even hanging themselves, committing suicide, because we do not understand. What Honorable Mishi has come up with should be inculcated even in our curriculum, so that every child grows understanding and knowing how to handle anything that comes up that indicates mental health problem. Some people end up taking anyone who is disturbing in their homes because of maybe drugs or trauma related actions. They take them to jail. A mental ill person is not supposed to be taken in jail, and they are not supposed to be beaten up. Mob justice. We have seen other people beating up a mentally ill person because of how they behave or carry themselves around their society. So we want the government to increase funding in this sector so that every county should have can have a standalone facility geared or solely built to handle mental illness or health issues related to mental illness. We need accessibility, because sometimes we victimize these people, and it becomes like an embarrassment even for any family to share that they have a child or a sister or a brother who is like that. We should stop victimizing, because sometimes it can be genetical. It's not really just drugs. And lack of jobs. You have seen how our GNZs have come up. It is not because of any lack of respect. It is not. Frustrations. Children have witnessed their parents sell property. Children have witnessed their parents deny themselves even having basic needs just to take them to school, taking all the shillings in the home. Anything that is called money is taken to take them to school. Then after school, they come back and sit and become a burden to their parents. Even when somebody wants to marry, they take their spouses to stay again with their parents because they cannot. Some of these things mount up into frustrations. And if frustrations keep mounting on top of frustrations, it becomes depression. And when somebody is depressed, they lose their normalcy. When they lose their normalcy, they become sometimes very poisonous. So we have to really take care of this thing, of this mental illness, by ourselves making sure that the money that we have said, in fact, yesterday when Honorable Ndindi Nyoro was talking about cutting what we were calling impulsively spending, If we cut that and make sure that facilities in the county levels, sub-county levels, have a section that deals with this particular matter, then it will be easier to handle, to prevent, than to cure. We can prevent, all of us, if we look into this. So I'm really supporting and really thanking Honorable Mishi for coming up with this, because we all are affected and we cannot run away from this. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Say, I second.
I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that aware that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution provides that every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, including the right to health care services, and further aware that the mental health is a key determinant of overall health and socioeconomic development, and also recognizing that the Constitution assigns to the national government the responsibility of matters of health policy, concerned that according to the World Health Organization, mental health and neurological disorders are common and are about 10% of the global population suffer from at least one mental health disorder at any given time. Concerned that the psychiatric units are only available in few facilities in the country, and patients requiring psychiatric services have limited or no access to these facilities, and acknowledging that access to healthcare facilities would lead to improved overall health, increased economic productivity, social equity, and improved quality of life. And now, therefore, this House urges the national government, through the Ministry of Health, to collaborate with county governments to develop a policy integrating mental health services in all healthcare facilities in the country. What's your point of order, Honorable Justice?
Yeah. Madam Speaker, I rise on the standing order number 96. And without going into detail on what the standing order number 96 details, Madam Speaker, it simply says at any given time during a debate, a member may rise to move that that particular debate be adjourned until some other occasion. Madam Speaker, you had properly guided in the earlier on that standing order, motion number 9 should appear after motion number 11. And you had said that the office of the clerk and the chair of agriculture, together with the mover of the sugar bill, Madam Speaker, were not ready. I wish to mention that we've had consultations, and Madam Speaker, we are now ready to move to the committee of the whole in terms of the sugar bill. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the debate be adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. And I think I do agree that if the committee of the whole is ready, you can make your contribution briefly, and then I will move to adjourn the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to support this bill by Honorable Mishi Mbogo. And I want to state that we have a mental health policy by the ministry, which is a 2017-2018 mental health policy. And when you look at the motion, she wants that the national government and the county government be able to, in consultation, to have mental health in all the health facilities. The mental health policy that is there provides for the formation of mental health board at the national and the county levels. So I think in this policy, what we need to be able to is to improve. What our urging is to improve on that, so that every health facility can have a mental health provision of mental health services. And I think that is an improvement, because one of the biggest challenges when it comes to mental health is issues about human resource. And I think we would be urging that the county governments be able to look at how best they can be able to incorporate to have enough health personnel, human resource, so as to deal with the mental health issues. And this is, and from the figures which is given globally, 10% of the population at any given time suffer from mental health conditions. And therefore, I think this is a very important area. And when I was sitting with Ditmas, he was telling me we need to begin even from Busia. So the member is here and is seconding. So yes, we can begin from there. So I think every part of this country requires that service, and we should be able to look at how best we can be able to have this address, because we look at people committing suicide, we hear of people, even police officers shooting each other, and that kind of thing. It's something that should be able to be looked at, and we need to be able to look at it on how best we can improve. With those few remarks, I want to support.
Okay, I will now adjourn this debate on this motion, and we shall come to it at a later time. And now we move back to the next order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, we are in the Committee of the Whole House, and we'll be considering the following bills: the Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2022, the Cotton Industry Development Bill, Senate Bill number 5 of 2023, and consideration of Senate Amendment to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022. So we shall now proceed. Yes, we have a point of order by the Chair, Agriculture. You may proceed.
Honorable Chair, I rise on point of order number 133 to request that we rearrange the order of item number 10.2 and 10.3 so that we may start with 10.3, then go to 10.2. Honorable Chair, we have this particular bill will go to mediation, and therefore we know that we need time to allow the Senate to pick their mediation team and also the National Assembly to do the same. I request that we, and it is not it's not overlay encompassing, so I request that we deal with item number 10.3 first, after 10.1, then we go to 10.2 in that order. I submit.
The Chair is making a request that we reorganize, and that is agreeable. So, honorable members, we are going to start with the first one, which is the Pensions Amendment Bill. Then we will go to the third one, which is consideration of Senate Amendment Bill to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34, and finally, we will go to the Cotton Industry Development Bill, Senate Bill number 5 of 2023, so that is agreed. So let us proceed.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 1A.
Mover?
Thank you.
Mover to move second reading of that clause.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and the Chair of this committee. I beg that clause 1 be part of the bill, and the amendment is to give the Cabinet Secretary power.
Order, Chair. You'll move that that clause be read a second time.
Thank you. Thank you for guidance. Chair, I beg that this clause, this bill be read for the second time. Clause 1, thank you. New clause, sorry. I'm guided.
Well,
thank you.
Well, for the record, read that, move that clause, new clause 1A.
Thank you.
Be read a second time.
Madam Chair.
And give the justification.
I beg that the new clause 1A be read for the second time. The amendment is to give the Cabinet Secretary power to make regulations to give effects to the provisions of Section 6 with regards to the prompt payment of pension. And Madam Speaker, this is justified that we witnessed for quite some time retirees after departing from the workplace. They go through tribulations and challenges pursuing pensions for a long time. And this particular amendment is to give powers to Cabinet Secretary to make regulations to give effect that within 90 days after retirement, the pensioner should be able to receive his dues on time when he still has energies and when he still has to enjoy the service he has provided therefor. Thank you. I beg to move.
I propose the question that new clause 1A be now read a second time. Yes, I'll give you a chance. Mheshimiwa, please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I truly support this clause. There are many, many retirees who take up to 20 years without seeing their pensions. And therefore, it is immoral as a country. People waiting, having served our government for so many years, then instead of giving them their money to enter into retirement with, and at the time when people are retiring, Madam Speaker, they are susceptible to many chronic illnesses, and they have nothing in their pockets, and therefore the 90 days as proposed by the committee is welcomed. I hope we can all adopt it so that retirees don't wait forever, and I thank you.
Honorable Justice, the last one. Please give him the mic. Move to the mic near you on the left.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I wish to support that amendment, Madam Chair. Most public servants are heavily inconvenienced after retirement when they have to wait for a long, long time to get their pension. Most of us as members of parliament, we are asked to provide interventions by teachers and other public servants who end up missing their pension for as many as 10, 15 years, Madam Chair, and they may not realize the purpose for which they are given their pension. Madam Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Thank you. I now put the question that new clause 1A be read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new clause 1A be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the Honorable Didmas Barasa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There is an amendment which we didn't see, and it's very important. And I would request that we recommit so that we carry along that amendment.
The Honorable Mutunga. The Honorable Chair. The Honorable Chairman, Agriculture.
What do we do?
Honorable Yes, sir. Please give the mic to the Chair, Agriculture.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, Clause 2 brings in the spirit of seeking to set timelines, which are very important, of 30 days, at which we believe 30 days is good enough for the transmission of the retirees to make sure that the documentation of the filing is properly done. Honorable Chair, the ministry or the departmental issues need to be given sufficient time because we know that they do so in consultation, and therefore they will need some good times to work on this. However, Honorable Chair, we need to have retirees taken care of or their issues handled as it were. We need to have them their issues dealt with. In most cases, Honorable Chair, we have a problem with that retirees following their pensions for a very long time and not getting it. Therefore, to require the pension department to process the pension within 60 days is good enough for us so that we have at least a specific time limitation. And therefore, the backlog will also have been done so that they can be able to streamline their working relationships and their processes so that they can deliver to the retirees. Honorable Chair, we have many retirees coming to Nairobi and even requesting us as members of parliament to support them in getting their pension, and it has been an issue. So timeline is important, and I think the committee's amendment is in good faith and is giving us the necessary flexibility that we are in building. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
I see several. I would like to give a chance to another person. Please hit the intervention button. Honorable Ekomas Mutuse, would you like to make a comment to this?
Madam Speaker, I'm queued in for the next order in the business of the House today.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the new clause 1A be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I would like to get a comment from the Chair, Agriculture, Chair Finance, or the representative concerning the matter that has been raised by the Honorable Barasa.
Thank you so much.
To be dropped.
As well guided chair, and since clause 1 seeks to give more powers to the cabinet secretary to make proper regulations to give effect to processing of pension within 90 days. I'm well guided that the 30 days that clause 2 is seeking to work on has already been captured in the same. And the cabinet secretary, therefore, will have powers to make managerial regulations to be able to give effect to that. Thank you.
So I would like you to go on record so that we do not have to revisit that clause. So do you agree that it has been dropped?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I agree to that effect. Thank you.
Title.
I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. I now put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So, honorable members, we are done with the first. And as agreed when we began, we will now go to the third. Before we go there, I would like to call the mover to move reporting. Mover?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I beg to move that the committee to report to the House its consideration on the Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2022, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Now, honorable members, I put the question that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2022, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, we move to the next one, and it will be the third one, which is the consideration of Senate amendment to the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022.
Senate amendment to clause 6.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the Senate amendment bill to clause 6 be now approved. Chair?
Honorable Chair, we consider the Senate amendment, the proposed Senate amendment to clause 6, and rejecting this amendment, Honorable Chair. The reason being that the proposal, Honorable Chair, was to add another member, an additional member appointed by the Council of Governors. And Honorable Chair, the presumption here is that the board will already be formed and the Council of Governors will assess the gender equity. And that is not a possibility. The board is formed at the same time. So we realized this one was it was not possible to do that. On the second subclause 2, we also therefore did not consider the additional subclauses, and therefore the part B also falls. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Senate amendment to clause 6 be now. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the Senate amendment to clause 6 be now approved. Yes?
Chair, taking...
Honorable Owino.
Okello.
I'm sorry about that. Honorable Okello.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. Taking a tangent from what my chair has already alluded to, Honorable Speaker, in the composition of this board, all the factors under Article 27 of the Constitution shall have been attained. And if we are going to cherry pick and engage in splitting hairs on this matter, then there will be an inordinate delay in composition of a board, which will, in effect, disenfranchise the operations of the entire board. Any delay in coming up with this board, Honorable Speaker, which is long overdue, which can as well be orchestrated by these kinds of proposals as advanced by the Senate, is unwelcomed at this point, and therefore I align myself with the rejection of the Senate amendment, Honorable Chair, and I thank you.
Well, Justice. Honorable Justice.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I wish also to support the views of the Chairman of the Agriculture Committee. In the composition of the board, Chair, as per the bill, all constitutional requirements have been met, and therefore giving an opportunity to another body again to add to the composition of the board, Madam Chair, in my view, is unnecessary, and therefore we reject the Senate amendment. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So, honorable members, I now put the question. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, I now put the question that Senate amendment to clause 6 be now approved. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it.
Senate amendment to clause 17.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the Senate amendment to clause 17 be now approved. Chair?
Honorable Chair, we consider this proposal by Senate, and we have no problem with the addition of that title, Part 3, licenses and registration, because it flows with the legislation. So, Honorable Chair, we approve that proposal.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I now put the question that the Senate amendment to clause 17 be now approved. Honorable Wangwe?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Chairperson, I support the committee. We all agree that grammar is not our mother tongue, and any improvement to it by the Senate is welcome. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Justice Kime, member for Sigowet.
Madam Chair, I agree with the amendment from the Senate, and Madam Chair, where value is added to a bill, so that when we're enacting it to be an act, is provided by the other house, Madam Chair, and it makes sense, we're duty-bound to accept, and therefore, Madam Chair, I accept the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. I now put the question, which is that the Senate amendment to clause 17 be now approved. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Senate amendment to clause 19.
I propose the question that the Senate amendment to clause 19 be now approved. Chair?
Honorable Chair, the committee considered the Senate amendment clause 19. Honorable Chair, this amendment alludes to the zoning and the operations after the zoning. Honorable Chair, we have decided to take the zoning issue and the definition of the zones to mediation. So, Honorable Chair, we rejected this particular amendment.
Honorable Ditmas Barasa, I'll come to you, Jared.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I rise to oppose this amendment. When a farmer decides to plant sugarcane, that farmer is not different from the one who plants maize. It's not different from the one who plants tea. And at the point of selling that cane crop, the farmer should sell the cane crop to the person who has arrived and they want to buy them. You cannot tie a farmer to a factory. If the factory becomes moribund because of poor management, the same suffering should not be transferred to the farmer. The reason why farmers plant cane is they feel that at the point that the cane has matured, they should be able to sell it, convert it into money,
into cash and sort their businesses. Madam Chairperson, we are in a free market economy. You sell your crop to the person who has arrived. As long as the money that you are being paid is competitive, is within the market, these issues of tying farmers to a particular factory, Madam Chairperson, it is punitive. It is not in the modern times. Farmers should be allowed to sell their cane crops to whoever has arrived with money to buy them. The issues of saying that a factory may have given a particular farmer some incentives, that is like a debt. They can have their own arrangements on how they're going to pay each other. But I rise to vehemently, profusely oppose these amendments of tying cane farmers to a particular factory.
Chair, before we proceed with the debate, I see that the Chair, you are accepting part of the amendment and you are rejecting another part of this amendment. So I would like you to clarify so that we make a decision on how to put the question. Chairman?
Chair, I refer members to clause
19.
Clause 19. Chair, the clause 19 goes like this, because we debated clause 19. Chair, the proposal by Senate was to Part 1, Honorable Chair, the proposal is that the Part 1, which is additional, does not apply to imported sugar, to imported industrial sugar. Honorable Chair, we have to import industrial sugar. It is refined, and therefore it is necessary for us to allow that importation. Then, when it comes to selling by the